Hey guys, Ben here and welcome back to another video. Today we have some major breaking news to do with the Supergirl film, so if you do go on to enjoy the video, please be sure to leave a like and a comment and subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos later this year. Again, I want to apologize if my voice sounds a little bit off. I am still recovering from this illness over Christmas and my voice is just not exactly the same, so bear with me. But today we're going to be breaking down the major breaking news that Jason Momoa is coming to the DCU. So we all know Jason Momoa for playing Aquaman in the DCEU, but for a long time now there's been rumors that he would be playing Lobo eventually and maybe even in the DCU. Well, today we got official confirmation from Deadline, or at least that's the article that I'm breaking down, that yes, Jason Momoa is in fact coming to the DCU, and he is coming very soon, and he's going to be appearing in none other than Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow as Lobo. So let's get into this. Let's break down the article and give my thoughts on this. And I have to say, you guys know I'm a big Supergirl fan, looking forward to the film, and I have read all of Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, so I feel like I'm quite qualified to talk about this and give my thoughts and opinions, because Lobo isn't in the comics. I'll just say that straight up. So this is how the article goes. Jason Momoa, star of DC's Aquaman films, has been tapped to play Lobo in Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow, Deadline has confirmed. Momoa has been linked to the Lobo role since before James Gunn came in to lead DC alongside Peter Safran. He's been vocal in the past about his interest in the part, and today confirmed his attachment to the role in an Instagram post where he screenshotted comments from a past interview. And so this is what Jason Momoa said on his Instagram story. This is a quote from him. "I collect comics and I don't do so much anymore, but was always my favorite, and I always wanted to play Lobo because I'm like, hello, it's the perfect role," said the actor. And then he goes on to say that should DC come around asking him to play Lobo, it would be a fuck yeah. Alongside the Instagram screenshot, Momoa posted a caption this morning that reads, "They called," next to this message. So there you have it. That is Jason confirming himself. They called, they want him to play Lobo, which he thinks is the perfect role for himself, which I kind of agree with. I feel like this was the role he should have always got. Yeah, I liked him as Aquaman, I think he did a good job. But the character of Lobo is very, very fitting for him. He has that Lobo demeanor, he has the attitude, he has the looks. It's really not hard to imagine him playing the role if they were to eventually introduce Lobo. And so let's get into a little bit about Lobo. So he is an anti-hero known for his violent and irreverent personality. Lobo possesses superhuman strength, regenerative abilities, and invulnerability that makes him a formidable opponent. He was created in the comics, and the character has often been depicted as a bounty hunter who enjoys chaos and destruction. And I believe this may be how Lobo is introduced to this Supergirl story. So obviously plot details about the changes that they're making to the comic Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow remains to be seen, right? But in the comic, Supergirl does face off against a bounty hunter, but she doesn't face off against Lobo in Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. In fact, the character doesn't appear at all in the comic, so how are they going to introduce him? Well, with the main villain being Krem, who is a bounty hunter, it would make a lot of sense to have them be like criminals working together, and they go around the galaxy, because Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow is all about this cosmic adventure that Supergirl goes on, where she's actually hunting down Krem, the bounty hunter. So by introducing Lobo to this story, they can make it even more interesting by having two main villains potentially. Now, of course, I don't know exactly how they're going to include Lobo, but this is probably my best guess. I think they could be partners working together on all of these terrible activities that they do as bounty hunters. But really, Krem is more of like a hitman, or, you know, someone that just goes around murdering people, which is not really as much what Lobo does traditionally. He is more of a traditional bounty hunter, but he still has that chaos and destruction that obviously Krem has, but Krem is a bit more kind of precise, and he will kill people without any hesitation, as you see in the comics if you've read the comic. Or there is always the possibility that they don't have him work alongside Krem and have him be someone that we visit and meet on one of the planets, because in the Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow comic, Supergirl and Ruthie, who is the alien girl that travels alongside her as they hunt Krem around the galaxy, they visit various planets, and on those planets they meet many different people, and on one of those planets they could easily meet Lobo, and that's where Lobo gets introduced to the story. I don't know if they could, hire Lobo potentially, because he is a bounty hunter, to try and track down Krem and find out where he is. So Lobo could potentially be on Supergirl's side rather than being against Supergirl, because he can definitely toe those lines. He doesn't have to be villainous strictly, because he is a bounty hunter, and traditionally bounty hunters definitely toe the line between good and bad. They're like always going back and forth between it. So that's definitely a possibility, and of course let me know down in the comments below, what do you think Lobo is going to be used as in this film? But I have to say, I'm a big fan of this casting. I think the introduction of Lobo is a cool addition, and without a doubt the inclusion of Jason Momoa is going to elevate this project, because this project doesn't necessarily have any big names yet. Millie Alcock is big enough that she's going to get some interest from certain Game of Thrones fans, but she isn't a household name, and Jason Momoa has proven with Aquaman and with his other projects, but especially Aquaman, he can bring in a lot of money. Now, yes, Aquaman's popular anyway, and Supergirl right now is fairly popular as well, so maybe you can rely on the IP, you can rely on the name, but there is no harm at all in having big actors like Jason Momoa be involved in such a film. It definitely won't harm the project, so I think it's just an exciting new addition, and seeing Jason actually getting cast as Lobo after he said in so many interviews that he wants to do it. I actually believe when I met him in real life he mentioned it. That was during the Aquaman 2 premiere. So it's definitely been a long time coming, and James Gunn has listened and they've given the go ahead to introduce Lobo in the story. Now obviously this is coming from Anna Noguera, who wrote the Supergirl screenplay, so she is adapting Tom King's comic book series of the same name, Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, and as I said, there's going to be a lot of changes. So with this being the first major change that has been confirmed, the question is, how different are they going to make this from the comics? Because traditionally adaptations tend to be quite faithful, but you don't always have to be exactly faithful to your source material. But with Tom King involved in the DCU, because he is working on Lanterns, and obviously he is the original writer of this comic book, I'm sure he had some input, and I don't think they would have made too many changes without his permission, or without him, giving his thoughts on some certain changes that Anna wanted to make in the screenplay. So I'm definitely not worried about any of that. If anything, I think it's even more exciting that they can expand on the story, because Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow wasn't such a long story, although it was a great comic book arc. It didn't last for too long, so there is a lot more that they could definitely do in terms of world building, because we are going to go to various planets, or at least they do in the comic book, and by introducing the concept of the Red Sun and Supergirl going to planets with actual aliens on it, they can introduce so many cool different ideas. I mean, you could even show the Lanterns at some point. You could see them going on a space bus and passing Oa or something like that. Like, they could go as crazy as they want, they can go as faithful to the comic as they want and just introduce those worlds that were seen in Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow, or they can do something completely different. That's actually quite exciting, because it's definitely a good template to start with the comic book. And a small little nugget that was hidden in this Deadline article is the fact that they confirm production on Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow officially kicks off on January 13th, guys. That is in exactly 2 weeks time. I can't believe production is starting that soon. I know we were expecting it to start in January, but man, Supergirl is getting started. It's been years since we've had any Supergirl in production. Obviously, we saw Supergirl in the Flash film. That was great. She was probably the best part of that film. But sadly, we're not going to see more of Sasha Calle as Supergirl, because the DCEU is dead. And since Supergirl ended with Melissa Benoist, we've not had too much, but also we haven't had too much of a break. So I'm excited for this new version of the character played by Millie Alcock, and I'm presuming we're going to get some set photos and everything. So if you guys want coverage of the Supergirl film, which I'll be sure to do, please stay active on my channel and turn on those notifications, very importantly, so you don't miss any future videos. But that pretty much does it for this video, so if you did enjoy it, please be sure to leave a like and a comment. It would help this video get out there. Also subscribe and turn on notifications. But for now, you can click on the top right corner of the screen to watch my latest video, and I'll catch you guys later. Goodbye.